Welcome back to another episode of Another in the Fire with Claudia.
I'm Casey.
And Vanjie.
And
Wait,
thank
I'm
you for
Vanjie.
joining us.
That's what I meant to say. I'm Vanjie.
And thank you for joining us in the fire with us today, guys. Again, another week. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. You guys sent some questions in and continue to send them if you guys want us to touch on something. Like, continue sending it because we still had questions left over from a previous episode, but we ran out of time because we talk. But
We were really giving our opinion.
yeah, future episodes to come, so continue to send those questions in. But before we get started with this episode, which is a really good one, but I feel like I say all our episodes are good.
Yeah.
So, I always say that. So, ladies, how was y'all's week?
Mine was good. I feel like right now we're doing a whole bunch of, so in our personal lives, we have encounters going on, encounter weekends, and that's one of my favorite times because I feel like it's like everybody's on fire. Everybody's ignited.
Yeah.
Like this momentum is going, and it's so good to be pouring into others. Like it's just really seeing God move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm good. Like I just, in our home, it's been encounters, like men encounter, women encounter, women encounter. So it's been good.
Yeah.
I feel so out of place because I'm not a part of this one. Because I'm going to church today.
Yeah.
She's out partying, living her life.
Concert live.
Don't call me, I'll call y'all. No, what's going on in my week? Man, allergies are kicking my butt, seriously. Like, I wake up, people are talking to me like, did we wake you up? No, I just sound like this every morning. But like my sinuses, I was telling somebody the other day, speaking of conspiracy theories, guys, do they know that we got booted off?
No, we haven't mentioned it.
We got it booted off, guys. No,
Yeah, well, it got flagged.
We got flagged on our conspiracy theory.
They don't want us talking
episode.
about aliens.
So
and
if
then the next week, the alien thing came out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
God be talking to us. See?
You heard it here first. But speaking of, I swear something's in the air. Like my allergies are different. Like I know myself. I've been suffering for a long time, but it's been different. Like
You got the
Thanks to virus.
No, wait, what?
He said what?
That new virus that came out that
it
makes
boat
no
or a
sense.
ship or something.
But it makes
I
no
don't know.
sense.
I haven't even followed that. 'Cause I think it's fake.
I think it's fake.
What are
I
you
think
trying to
it's
hide?
fake,
We're
Don't
gonna
get us flagged.
I don't know what's going on in these ships, but the Disney ship, y'all got caught. Y'all all gonna get caught. Y'all keep it up. But no, I think something like in the air from like just from another place, and it's just coming because
planet.
No.
from the atmosphere. The aliens brought it.
The tree from the wind and the air.
You know how sometimes fires or whatever, like the
Yeah.
dust, I think it's something different.
And with all the rain, like it can build up molds and things like that.
Man, and we don't know what these people are making out there. Y'all scientists are screwing us up, but I really feel like it's different. Like
Have you tried one of
face
those
hurts
neti
more.
pod things? I went down a whole rabbit hole on
No,
neti
because
pods.
as soon as I found out that somebody died from that,
Well, because they were doing
Today.
they were doing tap water. You're supposed to do like distilled water or something. So the tap water, she was like using tap water, and so of course the natural bacterias were in her
that made her.
cavity. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
That makes sense.
But I've seen
Yeah,
neti
that
pods
does
work
make
really
sense.
good.
I know my sister-in-law told me the same thing. I was like, let me see if anything happens to you. I am nobody's guinea pig, okay?
I'm not trying to get bacteria eat my brain out.
No. It could be because I started watching Walking Dead.
See?
I swear it's not mental, guys. It's really happening to me.
Do you know what you're allergic to?
Everything.
Yeah.
Like, I have skin allergies.
I had her do like an
I
allergy test on Natalie, and I discovered she's allergic to mold. I'm like, you're screwed. We're in Texas. Everything's moldy.
mold.
Yeah, because humid and
Yeah.
I'm literally allergic to everything. Even there's an ingredient in like topical things that I can't put on my skin because I have allergic reaction.
Yeah, because we have to be careful what chapstick we even buy you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's allergic to it. I don't know.
How about I'm just expensive? No, I'm kidding.
She's name brand. We're Hill Country brand.
Weird. Yeah, I'm allergic to practically everything. Yeah. Dust. So it's hard when I clean, and I'm a clean, like, I always want to clean dust, but then I start, like, suffering and I can't breathe. When people cut the grass, I can't breathe. When I'm out in the sun and I start sweating too much, my skin starts to get irritated. Like, I should have been the kid in the bubble.
You really do need a bubble.
I really do. But I wasn't like this until I moved to Austin. And I moved here when I was 12. So I think it started getting bad as a teenager.
So you have always fresh salt water in the air.
Yeah. Maybe that's the problem. We need to go back to the beach.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, take us with you. It's funny when you said the bubble wrap. I had got a phone call. Jennifer, I need to send her to school in a bubble wrap because she knocked herself out playing in athletics, and she's all like, I'm fine. I just need an ice pack. And last time she fell while she was running track, and I'm all like, girl, like, can you not? And her school sends me emails every time she goes into the nurse, like anything. So I'm getting all like, what did she go in now? You know, like, what did she go in? They call me. She's like, I just want to let you know, this is what happened. She's fine. She just came for an ice pack and left. And
a little bit accident prone.
Yeah, she needs a bubble.
So
but she's outgoing. Yeah. That has to suck for her.
Yeah. So then I was all like, is this happening?
Like,
she's like, I want to do this, but boop.
I'm like, is this happening during a certain period, like a time? And she's like, no, she comes to the nurse's office during passing periods. Because I thought maybe she's trying to get out of the class or like, let's narrow this down. No, literally, she's like, no, she comes during passing periods and says she hit her head and she needs an ice pack or she needs like something. And
that's so funny that you said that. Like, you're trying to narrow it down. Is somebody picking on her? Is she not liking a teacher? What's going on?
Claudia is quick to think of those things.
Speaking of like anxiety, isn't that our?
I forgot what we were talking about.
Speaking of that, let's jump in.
Yeah.
To the topic. All right.
It's gonna be so good.
Yeah. This topic has been brought up before, but we haven't really gone to recording it. But today we were just like, man, like this stigma of like us as Christian women or us as faith women, women with faith, that we think that we can pray everything out, or we can, which we can. However,
right, we do believe that.
Yeah. However, like, we still go through stuff, you know? So this episode, we're going to talk about Christian women and anxiety. I don't know, ladies, have y'all dealt with anxiety? And this is what I'm going to read directly off of my notes. It says, loving God doesn't mean you never struggle with anxiety. This episode creates a space for honest conversations about fear, pressure, overthinking, emotion, exhaustion, and finding peace in God while still being human. Because come on, like, we're human.
Yes. Yeah.
We are human, and I feel like this is why this podcast was created, honestly, because everybody thinks that we're throwing the Bible and we like at people and that nothing happens to us, but no. We're here to tell you we're human, but we love the Lord, and we go through this stuff, you know?
We think we're a wrong woman of God or a wrong Christian because we deal with anxiety. Like, that is not true either.
Yeah.
And a lot of believers or Christian women, I'm saying Christian women because that's what we're talking about, you know, that, but sometimes sometimes we carry the pressures, responsibility, fear, overthinking, emotional exhaustion. All of that can be part of anxiety. As I said, with Jennifer getting hurt, I'm over here thinking, like, what is happening? Like, and I start making all this stuff in my head. Overthinking. And all she's doing, she's not really trying to get anywhere. She's doing it during passing periods.
She's just a little bit clumsy.
Yeah. And, you know, and so it's okay to feel this way, to go through these emotions, you know, and because we don't have it all together.
Yeah.
and
we're expected to, right?
yes.
I think when I
But
think
who
about
puts that expectation though?
we ourselves and other people, like
I was gonna
unexpectedly, like how people are with us make us put that on ourselves. Like
I think society does, because once we get into it, we realize like, okay, we're still dealing with it, or we're
Yeah.
still struggling. But when you start talking to people who, even if they're baby Christians or they're not Christians or they're not believers, they start looking at you like you do have to have it all together. As
Yeah.
soon as you started following God, or as soon as you started mentioning God,
because they're waiting for you to fall.
you cannot mention anything else. No struggles, no pressure, no nothing. Like you have to all of a sudden be perfect or something. I don't know, but I think
Because
it's
then,
society.
oh ye of little faith.
Yeah.
No, I have faith.
It's society, and then it's honestly leadership in churches, because you don't get like that. You don't get stuff like that from like congregation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that pressure from leaders.
Yeah.
They expect you to get over it.
Yeah. But I think also some people will expect you to get over it, and some people expect you to learn how to handle it better. But at the same time, they're not teaching you how to handle it better. Just figure it out, get better with it. We juggle a lot of things, we handle a lot of things, and how are we really teaching them to handle it the best way? We're really not. We're just saying, you need to learn to handle it better, like juggle it better.
And some people, like I didn't grow up in the era. I feel so old to say that, of like anxiety and depression.
Oh, the era where people actually talked about it.
Yeah, like it was just like that didn't
We're barely
exist.
getting
You're
there,
crazy, and like barely.
Yeah, we're
like my
barely
kids are all full of emotions and.
And they want to talk about it.
And they want to talk about it. And I'm just like, y'all are making me uncomfortable here. But anxiety, how it's not, it doesn't, what is anxiety, and things that I looked up is overthinking, constantly worrying, needing control, fear of failure, struggling to rest, people pleasing, always expecting something bad to happen. And I'm all like, check.
I was doing that right now.
And I'm all
like,
I'm like, so I have anxiety and I never knew I had anxiety?
Or not just that, like, no wonder I am like that. Like, because when you say anxiety, I'm like, oh, I don't struggle with anxiety.
Yeah,
and then you read things and I'm like,
think panic and fear.
Yeah, I'm just an overthinker. No, that's anxiety.
Yeah, like the root is still fear.
Yeah.
Fear of something. Yeah. So, ask us the questions.
Okay.
Because I already checked them off in my head.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we established what sometimes anxiety looks like, what triggers anxiety for you?
The camera, the lights,
This podcast, which y'all heard me say many times. What triggers anxiety? Honestly, I only get worrisome, or fear when it relates to my kids.
I feel that with you.
Yeah, it's just motherhood. I'm still growing in that area.
Trusting. Like,
I trust God. I give them over to God, but their day-to-day, it still gives me a little bit because I don't know. Especially the ones that don't live with me. Like, you don't know what they're doing day-to-day.
Yeah.
So it gives me a little bit of pause. And I have to, again, release it to God. Like, every day.
We're going through that beginning phases with Layla right now, like trusting. We had a text thread with some of our other friends and talking about like 17, 18, 19-year-olds and allowing them to go and be 18. Like, we're dealing with that with Layla, because even last night she was like, Dad, I'm about to be in college and you're not going to really know, like, every time I go to the store, every time I go, like, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. And it starts when they're, able to go to somebody's house and spend the night, and those little triggers of, okay, well, I don't know them, let's meet them.
Yeah.
Well, when they get older, you can't
really
do
have
that. Or when they move out of the house, you can't do that. You're not going to meet everyone they come across or hang out with. So.
And if they're even like,
are these people safe?
like what trigger? I don't know. I've been through that with Natalie and her friends that she's hanging around with, and we do have conversations about feelings. My daughter, she's majoring in
Psychology.
Psychology. And I was going to say psychiatrist. I don't know. Whatever. Psychology.
Yeah, because that's what she wants
Psychology
to be.
is
She wants
major
to be a
psychiatrist.
psychiatrist.
Okay, period. So she talks about her feelings and all that kind of stuff. So she's getting to know people, and then I'm all like, oh, so do they live with both parents? If both parents are involved? Like, well, like, you know, I want to know stuff about them so I can kind of know. And she's like, why are you asking me?
And these are not really things that she's asking
Yeah.
them, so how does she know?
She's like, I don't know, Mom. We were just hanging out. We were at the duck pond. She was on her laptop. I was on my laptop. We were studying and having, like, random conversations. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm all like, okay.
But the mom in you gets triggered.
And that's how I realized, like, I do have anxiety because I am a control freak.
Mm.
And I realized when I was reading this, I'm all like constantly worrying, needing control. I really feel like putting my kids in a bubble wrap or in a bubble where nothing or nobody can hurt them, you know? And I think also with like motherly, not even motherly, because even like, it's just the control in me because of fear of what I went through the past that I'm like, it gives me anxious whenever I think about that. I'm like, I'm never going to be there again, you know? And that's where that is stemming from.
Yeah. Because in your head, this can happen. What if this happens? Yeah.
Yeah.
All
like,
that.
whenever this whole, when I stopped working this whole job and like the company, and I'm all like, okay, plan A, B, and C. Like, I made sure, and I was telling one of my friends, I was just like, I had this planned out, and if it didn't work out, I was gonna do this. I was gonna sell this house. You know, like I was gonna do, like, I already had my plan like set, but that was like the control part of it, and I never identify it as anxiety. Never. Like, did I ever think, I'm all like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but that is a form of anxiety because you're trying to prepare and, like you said, be in control of different situations all at once, because that's only one part of your life, and then you got kids and marriage and finances and businesses. So when you start doing that in all these areas of your life, yes, anxiety.
I do think that to some degree, in some level, we deal with all of these little things. But if you don't struggle with it, if you're not consumed by it, don't label yourself, guys.
Yeah.
A little bit of stress, a little bit of worry is natural. Like, we're gonna feel those things.
What was the list? I'm trying to think of what was.
Overthinking, constantly worrying. So a little worry is okay, right? But you deal with it. You don't let it consume you.
Needing control, fear of failure, struggling to rest.
It's when these things take over your mind and your behavior, and now you're functioning like completely out of fear.
Yeah.
Because a little bit of it, and then you give it to God, right? Like you pray, you feel it, you go through it, you pray about it, you give it to God. But when you can't stop thinking about things or worrying about something,
because I feel like we always feel this type of way through our seasons in our life,
in life
in general, you know, like. But I think that part is important. Consume you. Like, I'm not driving because somebody's gonna hit me when I get the road. Like, now you're like, I feel like that is
now
something
you're paranoid.
that you're paranoid. Your fear. You're like, it's preventing you from doing life.
Yeah. Now it
paralyzes you.
Yes.
Yes. An overthinker. I think, like we talk all the time, you're an overthinker,
but
not to the point where you panic, not to the point where it's consumed you, not to the point where you're the conspiracy theorist all the time. It's not overcoming you.
That was going to be my answer. That's why I was like, I think I know what I am. To answer your question, I am an overthinker, and a lot of times, like, my husband will catch me because I'm really quiet, like.
You're thinking too much.
You can take a whole drive with me and I'll say 5 words, but it's because I'm thinking. I'm thinking about past conversations. I'm thinking about our conversation and then taking it into, like, man, did I sound wrong? Did I say this right? Like, anything that I had going on at home with the girls, I'm thinking about my parents, my siblings. Like, I'm overthinking other situations that aren't even right here, right now. But then it's taking me out of that moment. That's where I know it's anxiety, because it's keeping me from the moment that I'm in right then and there. I'm overthinking situations that I have no control over, that I can't go back and change, that probably won't even happen. I'm playing arguments in my head while I'm taking a shower, like, I should have said this, I should have said that. Like, things that are really irrelevant, but that's what triggers me to have anxiety, because by the time I do open my mouth and talk, I'm like telling my husband something and he's like, where did that even come from? And I'm like, oh, in my head I had a whole, like, it got me to this point, but I'm only telling him the point.
Yeah, you're like, I already had a whole conversation for us.
Yeah. So for me, the anxiety comes in, I'm overthinking all these different situations, relationships, conversations. Like, I'm thinking about them, but I'm not actually talking about them. So then I'm only dealing with stuff that I've already created in my own head. Like,
Yeah.
that's my anxiety.
Yeah. So, I used to be a control freak and an overthinker. I'm still not, I mean, you know, I dabble in those things now and then when I want to. But I used to have like such a fear of driving. And I was only comfortable if people were with me or if I was drinking, which don't do, guys, don't do that. But I would freak out. So I didn't drive like past, I mean, even Bastrop was too much for me. Well, that's what, like 40, 30 minutes from where we're at?
Yeah.
30 minutes.
So I had a max of like, okay, over 30 minutes.
Circle.
Yeah, I literally would. Like, I wouldn't go, I didn't like to go to the surrounding Austin areas. So God dealt with me though. And he's like, how can I use you for more if you are afraid? Like, you're not really trusting me. I know how to drive. But for some reason, I would just get that way. So when I started to dig deeper, it was obviously childhood, right? Like, everything was back to some kind of childhood or teenage years or whatever. But I had family that they would drive reckless. And I think we've mentioned it before. Like, my dad was an alcoholic and he would drive. Remember, I was going to ask my mom about that?
Yeah. Mom, we still want to know. Why didn't you just drive?
Yeah, why did you? But that's where my anxiety would come from. But I wouldn't think about that. Like, my mind wouldn't go back to those places. It was just already something that grew inside of me from those moments.
Yes.
And so I had to, like, really dig, like, why am I afraid? I've never been in an accident. I'm not afraid to get stopped by a cop. Like, it wasn't those kind of things. It was just something that would consume me when I would get behind the wheel for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody told me to go to Bastrop, I'd start freaking out. Like, wait a minute, where am I going?
Yeah.
And back there, we didn't have, like, Google Maps.
Yeah.
We had MapQuest.
Print them out.
Yes. So when I started working, I remember, like, we had MapQuest and they would give me maps and I would cry, not in front of the people I was working with, but as soon as I would get in the car, I would cry. Like, I can't do this.
I can't even.
I had to suck it up and drive, and it was just like literally Austin area. And some places they sent me like to Page. Y'all know where that's at?
No.
It's a little bitty town,
that's your daughter,
out,
right?
like Bastrop area, I guess, or outside of Bastrop or somewhere around. The very first time I went, I remember I had to pull over. I was freaking out. I couldn't breathe. Now I was really having a panic attack, and I was like, I have to get it done. Like, this is my job.
Yeah.
So God would deal with me because I had to do those things.
Yes.
I didn't want to get fired, right? So I had to push myself through that. But
it's always from the childhood trauma. And I think now that's what Natalie encouraged Natalie to go to this career path, because she said, I guess I caused some kind of trauma in her when a kid.
She said, I guess.
She's like, I guess it was
ma'am,
me.
just own it. She's all
You
like,
just admitted to the control.
Nobody listens to the kid because they think that they're kids, but we have a voice too. And I'm all like, are you cleaning your heart? Like, what is happening?
What are you trying to tell me?
Okay, so, and nowadays, 2026 days, like, do you guys think anxiety, do you think social media increase anxiety?
Yes.
Hell yes.
The pressure to be perfect, to look good. That's why we have filters.
Yes.
People are afraid to be their honest, authentic self.
Yeah.
And not to lie. And
not only that, like, everybody has a phone in their hand now, and any kind of fight, any kind of road rage,
they're getting all your flaws.
all of it, and then it creates this whole thing, like the whole world thing, the word, like everything, and
like
I'm not like, I have to filter it out because I don't want to get consumed with this, and it does make me anxious, and I'm just like, I don't want to know what's happening out there. I just want to be in my bubble. And my husband tells me, like, we need to learn this stuff. We need to know what's happening around us. We need to know if we have to prepare for something. And I'm all like,
enough to be prepared.
You look at it, because I'm not going to do it. I don't want to see it.
But he doesn't have the same traits that you do.
Yeah.
You're
So-
like, you prepare us.
Yeah.
I'm all like,
You
then
have
I
to
see.
dissect it and tell me.
And then my husband got something delivered, like this whole thing. I don't know, all this.
You're like, don't touch it, spray it.
Yeah, and I, like all this like survival thing, and I'm all
Yeah.
like, what is happening? Like, what are
Do
we
you
doing?
know
He's all
something I
like,
don't know?
Yeah, and he's like, no, I'm just keeping it in handy.
Yeah.
We never know like what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Electricity goes out, like the freeze
You
and
need
all this kind of.
batteries and lighters and
See,
candles
he's
and
thinking
water.
natural things,
Yeah.
and she's thinking somebody's taking over. We're gonna have to protect ourselves.
Yeah, like they're gonna, or like
The
people
aliens
walking
are coming.
outside,
Yeah.
like what is happening here?
I'm over here like, do we have enough gas and generators?
Yeah.
So that's where like it comes from social media, because you see all of this happening and you see it's so raw footage. Like people,
I was
it's
gonna
just
say there's too many details out there now.
like never ever did I think I heard of people getting shot, but never seen
Now
a
you see
video,
it.
and now you can literally see it.
Yeah,
And it makes
does
it,
feel
and it
quote unquote
triggers.
common. So when kids are watching this, they think that's normal, and it's not normal. Like
Yeah.
growing up, we never saw anything like that because social media wasn't as big as it is
unless
now.
you grew up in that environment.
Yeah, so now
Yeah.
that it's normal, now that they're used to seeing it, it happens more often.
Yeah, it
Because there's
desensitizes them.
Yeah, they're to them this is what
And
it is.
it
Like,
goes back to control. Because I don't have control of what's happening on the outside and stuff like that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel some type of way.
Yeah.
So
For me, when I think of social media, like, yes, all the big, general, broad aspect, but I, again, overthinking, overanalyzing. When I see people post, like, some people are really good. Claudia's great at taking photos, capturing memories, doing stuff like that. That makes me, like, when we're on trips and stuff, or we're hanging out and doing things, she's always taking pictures, she's posting them, and in my head, I'm like, man, my kids are probably thinking, like, are my parents even having a good time? Are they even together? Like, Casey doesn't post anything, we don't see anything. So in my head, I have to keep up with nothing nobody else is doing. It's me doing it to myself. Like, when I'm scrolling social media, I feel like people are posting stuff, and I'm like, I don't post any of this. People think I'm unhappy. Does my husband even know I love him? Like, all of these things, because I don't post. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not good at that. I take pictures for church. I don't want to take pictures outside. Like, I
Yeah.
take pictures for people. Like, hey, can you take my graduation photo? So normally I don't take pictures like every day because I feel like I'm always taking pictures.
Yeah.
But it does get to me. Like, when I think of social media, that's what triggers my anxiety is, man, what do people think about me because I don't post my husband or I don't post my kids? But it's because of respect for them. Like, I'm not, the girls hate, like, if we're doing anything, Mother's Day, I didn't post anything for Mother's Day because they're all about, let's just be in the moment. Like, Dad, why do you have to take pictures of her opening gifts? Like, so I'm like, okay, I'm respecting the fact that they just want things to be between us. But then when I see other people post, I'm like, dang, do they know that I got gifts? Like, who cares if they know that I got gifts? Like,
Yes.
But that's where
Pictures
social
are
media.
important though, so you have them for yourself.
Yeah.
And you want to post them. But
Yeah.
when
I
I think
always
about
see Vanjie with her phone, like, and videos, and she's never post them. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
I have a ton of them because I'm getting older, guys, and I don't remember everything, and I want to really like remember.
moments.
Yeah, especially like when you lose people, you start going back, and that immediately, that's the first thing everyone does is go back for pictures or videos
Yeah.
for the
Memories.
to remind them of who they were, or whatever. So after all of that, I'm like, man, I'm videotaping everything.
Yeah.
I'm capturing all the moments,
Yes.
and then I run out of space. For that reason, though.
Yeah.
And I don't always post. And then randomly, I'll do a TikTok for like a whole week straight.
Yeah.
And then I'll
These
stop
are
for a
the
month.
moments.
Yeah. But when I think about social media, I think about judgment. Like, people are so big on how they're going to, like how you said, they're so big on how they're going to be judged that they have to pretend to be something they're not,
Yeah.
or do something they're not doing, or compete with other people.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah.
But
Especially
again,
for kids.
we've always said it, and you guys should, if y'all don't know, like this is here a friend telling you social media is fake.
Yeah,
as far as like
stop
they
worrying about what people think or say.
Yes,
they're going to
crazy.
criticize everything. So if you have an anxiety about social media, then stay off of it.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Why are you on it then? Why are you causing yourself trauma?
Why would you do this to yourself?
Stop tormenting yourself.
Yeah. So,
I use it for like information. I follow people that are encouraging. And if I see people post, like repost other things that are not encouraging for me, I stop following them. Because I don't want to see all your reposts about 6th Street fights.
I just learned, speaking of social media, so the other day I was talking to my husband, and he told me that he completely, like, he didn't delete his Snapchat account, but he deleted the app off his phone. And I was like, no wonder you haven't posted. And he's like, because too many people are posting for public. So when you watch stories of your friends, eventually just stories that are public, like they start coming up. Like they don't even have to be your friend. They could just be people around you, general people posting.
Yes.
And so he's like, when I'm watching like the people that I am friends with and looking at their stories, other stories start coming up, and he's like, and it's just, you know, people in the bar, people in the club, and he not struggles, but he is what do you call it? Sobriety. Yeah. So he's like, I don't even care to see that. There's people posting stuff, not even about going out and drinking. Like, people post random stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just could care less to see it. So when he got a new phone, he's like, I just didn't download Snapchat.
Yeah. Because you can't control that, what is it? The people you may know. And so when they post stuff, TikTok's like that too. I don't like that. When I'm scrolling and I'm in friends, it'll have a suggestion, and I'm like, well, I know them, but I don't want to see their stuff.
Yeah. I don't
like, so that's why I stay off of TikTok, because I don't want to scroll and accidentally, you know, stumble on somebody's stuff that I don't want to see your content.
He likes TikTok because it goes by the algorithm of what you watch, so it's just typically like things that.
But you have to stay in that other.
Yeah.
Right, like the.
For you or
whatever. Yeah, that.
Yeah, so he'll do that.
Yeah,
but
I'm learning how to navigate it so I don't accidentally, because people post crazy things. Like I'm a recovering angry person. And
she's an anger
and
anonymous, not alcoholic anonymous.
For real. What is it called? Yeah, anger management. Seriously. But if I look at too much violent stuff, I start feeling it.
Yeah, your blood starts boiling, and
so I always brag like I love Real Housewives, but when it becomes too much and I start like, ooh, get her, you know, that kind of like thing, I have to stop watching it because I'm like, okay, hold on now.
Too far. You're taking me back.
Yeah, I'm taking this personal now.
I feel that way with crime cases. Like when I get too into it, then I'm all like panicking and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, it's time to take a break.
Yeah. Like documentaries, real stories. I'll get into those and then I'll start freaking out, or I'll start taking it out on people. Yeah. Like, I knew that deal was wrong.
Yeah.
Is he a serial killer? He looks like a serial killer. Like you're starting.
I'll have to be careful what you put in, because my husband, he's always like, why do you watch these old shows? Like, I'm watching The Nanny, I'm watching like comedies, and I'm like, because
The Golden Girls.
Yes, because I have to be mindful of what I'm watching, because they will influence my attitude.
Yes, it does. Yes, yeah, I do too. I start watching older shows that I used to watch with my dad. Yeah.
I'm all about the old shows.
Yeah. Something fun and joyful to get all that other stuff out of my system.
So now that we talked about anxiety and stuff like that, let's talk about the Christian woman in us, of the pressure of us having to be pressure to being strong, to pray more, serve everyone, be a good wife, mother, friend, never admitting struggles. You know, so
or not having a safe place to admit your struggles.
Yes, you know, and it's like sometimes women feel like if I really trusted God, I wouldn't feel anxious. You know, like, because there is that part of it, like, oh, I thought you trust the Lord, and not forget about the noise of the people, but you yourself, right. You know, like you're self-evaluating, like you're like, why am I going through this? You know, why am I feeling this way if I trust the Lord? And then you start questioning your walk, and like that's the enemy first of all. Like so it just that part of it, like having the the truth of it is faith and struggle can exist at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not one thing or another. Like, it can happen. They're very parallel to each other.
Yeah, because faith is going to get you through those struggles. But if you're struggling and you find yourself feeling hopeless, like you're losing faith or you can't trust God, or then obviously reevaluate those things. But I agree, faith and struggle go hand in hand. That's what gets you through the struggle.
Yeah.
Is having faith enough to get through it and think about it and figure it out. There is a lot of pressure being a Christian.
Yeah.
And
just
a lot
a
of
Christian
things.
in general,
Yeah.
just being a believer, because like I said earlier, people put too much pressure on that title or that word, because as soon as you become that, they have expectations that you didn't even think that they would have. Like, how do you even know? You don't read the Bible. Why are you putting expectations on me, right?
Yes.
Like, that's crazy. How
Can
do
I
you
get
know
an
to put
expectation
expectations
list
on me?
so I know
Yes.
how I have to act?
I didn't know I
No, because
had
that's
to.
gonna trigger my anxiety.
They expect you to immediately stop talking the way you talked, or not sound like you're worried,
Yeah, you're
right?
not
Like, you can't
allowed
say
to have all these
anything
things.
now,
Mhm.
because what about your faith?
Yes.
And did you pray enough? And well, what are you in
You
sin?
must not be praying. You must not be tithing. You must not be like
Oh,
all the
that
things.
whole tithe thing makes me so mad. You're not blessed because
Cringe.
you're in sin. Can I just be going through something?
Yeah.
Like, God can be stretching my faith in this area. Like, it's crazy.
Or God might be dealing with me, like exposing who's really pouring into me versus who's criticizing me. Like, that's a whole thing too.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is a lot of pressure to be just a Christian woman, period.
But I feel like, you know, because we are human and we living the life that you're living as well, and different, it looks different in each individual. However, trusting God and be able to surrender, like I said, a lot of the control stuff, you know, like it came to a point that I was exhausted. I was overworking myself, emotionally, mentally, like everything. And but I feel like I had to go through that. So once I was able to release something that I was trying to control, I was like, okay, this is the step. You know, we're not perfect, and it's gonna happen like at the timing it's supposed to happen. You know, but that's the whole thing. Like, yes, I trust God, but I don't know. Sometimes,
But I'm learning how to trust Him more.
yeah, like it's just the season that I'm in, or something like that, whatever it may be. You know, and again, we're always healing and we're always evolving. We're always growing. There's new hurt coming in. Trauma from childhood is already getting healed, but now we have trauma from single life. Then we got trauma from marriage. Like, whatever, like, we continue to, we're still living.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we're still living. Stuff is still happening. Like, say a car accident happens, and then you're
And that
like,
all of a sudden can make you have
trigger
anxiety
something
that you never had before.
you know, anything, like loss of a family, like loss of loved ones, or a job move, you know, it's always gonna happen.
Life is always happening.
Yeah, something's always gonna happen.
You know, and it's just a part of, like, I get it, the move, it happens, but we have, like, don't expect us, or don't put that on yourself that you have to be okay and this is a blessing. I should see it as yes, it's a blessing, but there's also all these emotions and all of these
feelings
that come with it. You know, like, now you have to drive longer. Now you'll probably miss a basketball game from your kids. That now you're gonna be able, like, you can't go to a group because the change, but it happens. You know, like, this is what it is, and it's only work. I think I'm going in circles, but it's like getting worked on. Like, we're always working and evolving.
Yes,
you know,
the
and
processing the feelings that come with
and it's something that it's
situations.
inevitable. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, but yes, we trust the Lord, and yes, but it's still happening.
People tend to say, like, why me? That's a form of anxiety too, like fear of, why is this happening to me? Instead of seeing it as, well, God's going to see you through it. But I agree with Claudia. I think that everything that comes with feelings has to be processed.
Yeah.
And you have to think it through and not own anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, don't just go with it. Figure it out. Like, why are you feeling
Yeah.
this?
How am I supposed to grow out of this?
Yeah.
Like, or God, what are you trying to teach me? That's something that I had to learn. Like, why am I going through this? What am I supposed to learn out of this situation?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to, like...
Instead of just, why me?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just more...
When we
go ahead. No. Go ahead.
When we talk about like being a believer and the anxieties that come along with it, the stigmas, the expectations, it really takes me back to, so when my husband got ordained as a pastor, because he was a deacon and then being a pastor, I felt like I knew how to handle being a deacon's wife. Like I have deacon's wives that I associate with, things like that. And then when he was ordained as a pastor, the anxiety that kicked in for me of, man, now you got to carry yourself like this. Now you got to be careful of how you joke. Now you got to
like she couldn't do that with being a deacon's wife.
Yeah, because I'm like, you know what? That's on me, not him. But then I felt like the new level, the new expectations that people put on you, like how they look at you and view you, and then conversations that I have, like if women are calling me and asking for prayer or guidance or advice, like I'm just talking to them as me, but I feel like the stigma that came with the anointing that is on him is on both of us. So that, I think that shift in our lives really put it into perspective. Like God really used that as an opportunity for me to evaluate my circle and who I talk to, who I vent to, who I open up to. Like these two women, man, they have heard my heart as just Casey. Casey's going through this. Casey is experiencing this. Not John's wife. Not like this is me and my life and what I'm feeling. So I think when we talk about being a believer and the anxiety of expectations, it really put me in a point of you're not just venting to anybody. You're not just opening up to anybody. Like who are you really trusting that is going to pour back into you versus take that and run with it. Like, oh my God, Casey's dealing with this and she went through that. And if you knew how she talked to her husband, like, it really did. I guess what I'm trying to say is like with the believing part of it, yes, it does trigger anxieties, but like you said, what growth? How is God trying to grow me? I felt like God really used that as an opportunity for me to self-evaluate and watch my words, watch my circle, like things like that. So it is bringing something out of you.
Yeah. I think a lot of people share too much in general. Like, if you don't have a filter or you are just a talker, you want to talk all the time and you want to share everything all the time, and you do learn as a believer not to do that because things really do shift when you become a believer. Spiritually, they shift. But when she was talking, when you were saying that, I was thinking of there is a pressure when it comes to character.
Yeah.
And I think that people get that misconstrued with titles, positions. No, it's your character.
It's how you carry yourself.
It's how you carry yourself, who you surround yourself with. And there is a pressure. But when you take that pressure and you let it be pressure, like the judgment of others or their expectations of who you're supposed to be, if you let it become pressure, you will get caught up in not being yourself and not becoming who God created you to be. So with Casey and her analyzing it all, God's literally telling her to just be who you are, but be mindful of what you're doing, who you're saying it to, who's pouring into you, because your calling now is different. You're, I don't want people to misunderstand you, that it's about the pastor's wife and the whole title thing, because we already know we have critical people out there who are listening, because that's not who you are. You don't care about that.
No.
It was, there's pressure now on my character.
Yes.
Who's watching me? Who's hearing? What do I say? How do I carry myself? And where can I continue to go for safety?
Yeah, and that's
because there's no safety in being a titled person. You have a title now. That's anybody, but especially pastors.
Yeah, and I'm just using that as my example because you can fill it in however that looks like for you. You may have barely becoming a believer, barely starting to go to church, barely starting to post about church. And so people are going to hold you to certain expectations.
Yeah,
I just mean to share that about how it looked for me, but it may look differently for you because of this transition in your life.
Or somebody who all of a sudden you become an overseer of a ministry.
Yeah.
Now they're looking at your character. So I do want to make sure everybody understands, like, we're talking about character here. Not
I just use
my
example.
And I think that, like, even ministry leaders, they start to think position, title, I need to do whatever I can to keep this afloat.
Yeah.
And in reality, if you just work on your character, you're going to be where God calls you to be, regardless of who says what, who's lying, who's accusing, the judgment. No one can take you out of the position God has for you. Period. So there is a lot of pressure.
And I'm one of the biggest people on that. Like, nobody's going to take me out of my character. Nobody's going to take me out of who I know I am in Christ. And that's a big thing that even before titles, before leadership, before anything, I put that on myself. Like, you know, that expectation. I expect this out of me. Forget everybody else. Like,
I think it's the calling. Like, there's so much pressure with who we're called to be and what we're called to do. Like, God really does want to use us for stuff, and He does not put pressure on us. No. It's people who do that, and it's ourselves who do that, but God does not. He's like, you're already equipped. Just walk in.
I already called you. Like, I know all of these things about you, and I still called you. Like,
that's the struggle. That's where that whole anxiety comes from.
Just thinking about them, I'm like, it's true.
You're already called. Exactly. So who cares what people say?
That part.
Exclamation point, period.
I used to say, well, back in the day before I was a Christian, I used to always say, like, I don't care what people say. But the fact that I even said, I don't care what people say, meant I cared.
Yeah.
I just got hurt. Yeah, I was already acknowledging it. I was already putting it out there so I could protect my heart. So you get hurt so many times, you immediately start thinking and believing you don't care. Yeah, you do. You care enough to say it. You care enough to protect your heart. You just don't want to get hurt. So you're making yourself believe you don't care. But in reality, we do care.
Yeah,
we
because
care
it's one of those things, like, I always think when people are talking, I'm always, like, thinking, are you telling me or are you telling yourself? Like, I could really just not be here right now, and you're having, like, when you say, I don't care what people say, in my head, I'm like, are you telling that to me or to you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's to yourself.
You're trying to convince yourself.
You've used that towards me.
See? Because it's true. Like,
I'm like,
are we having a conversation or are you having a conversation?
We do. We all care. And you should care.
Yeah.
But I think when it starts to consume you and you start thinking too much about it, like, what are they thinking? What are they saying? That part you should not worry about. Yeah. But we should care because we want to take we want people to pour into us. Yeah.
Okay, so now we talked about anxiety. Then we talked about anxiety with faith. And now how do we live? How do we like,
where do we go
control like control it? What do we do to be able to control it and not let it consume us? Because that's what we want to get at. Yes, we identified all of this anxiety stuff that triggers just the anxiety in general, and then as believers. So now how do we move forward to be able to have this anxiety but also have this peace and overcome it?
Yeah.
You know,
because the opposite of anxiety is peace. The opposite of fear is peace, and that's really how you overcome fear. Any level of fear or worry is peace.
Yeah.
Have peace in our heart in an area of our life.
Yeah.
For me, I really do. I know we always say, right? Pray, read your word. Yes, pray, read your word. But worship for me is what really takes that worry out of me, or that it gives me my peace back. It always fills me back up, is worship.
Yeah.
Like, I just sitting there telling God, I trust you. I believe you. I stand on your promises. I'm not just crying out because I need him to save the day. I'm literally telling him I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have something to worry about, right? Yeah. I'm thankful I have kids. I'm thankful I have a vehicle.
I get to do this. I get to drive. I get
around and I be thankful for it. Like, if I'm worried about, I used to worry a lot when my kids were younger. them getting sick, right? Like moms always tend to do that. And I had a child who had epilepsy for 6 years. So I never got any sleep. But then I had him and I had a baby. So in between those two, I was a mess, like a hot mess. I don't even remember taking a shower because I suffered from depression from not meeting their needs. Like I'm not a good enough mom to y'all, or I did something wrong, or whatever. But when I started to turn that around and just be really grateful to God, it lifted all of the pressure of the worry and the fear and the depression. It just really does something to me. It's just being thankful.
I really think that part for me, like you have got to learn, for me, when we talk about anxiety, you have got to learn how to speak life into your own situations. You have got to learn how to flip it around and speak into certain things going on in your life. Like when you're in worship, speak it out because you when you feel yourself say it, when you hear yourself say it, it penetrates into your heart, into your mind, and words and actions. All of that has power. Like
Very powerful.
I don't know how to stress it enough to open your mouth and start declaring things. Open your mouth. If you're not a talker and you're shy, when you're in your car, put on worship and if you just open your mouth. That was a big thing for me. I really do, like, I say all the time, my friends have come over and I have worship on and I'm walking around my house and I'm speaking life. Like, and I've said it before on here, there are days where the girls probably come home and they're like, why is my bedroom door open? Like, because I was walking around this house and I was speaking life over your bed, over where you get ready, over your vanity. Like, I'm speaking life over my home, over my children. Like, you better get very comfortable opening your mouth and speaking and declaring things, because that's what shifts things for me. Mine is worship. Like, I
bring peace back into this situation.
To worship, like even at church, like I see, like what breaks my heart the most, because I'm in media and so I see the back of everything, like an overview, and it's so like, it breaks my heart that people can't even worship in church. They're distracted. They're worried. People are not going to the altar. So like I can literally see them like struggling to worship, and I'm like, if you can't worship here, where can you? Like, so that part, like if you feel like you can't worship, even more so, go to the altar, get on your knees. Who cares who sees you? Who cares what song is on? Who cares who's singing that day? Like, you do what you need to do to get yourself together, to get yourself aligned with God. Like, get out of your comfort zone already, because if you don't do it for yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. Like,
you got to force yourself to have those moments in public and in secret, because the Bible does say, like, if you're ashamed of me before people, I'm going to be ashamed of you before my Father. Like, I'm going to turn you away. And so when people say, like, we just worship different, yes, this is true. However, if you cannot worship in public, there's a reason. Like, maybe something's stopping you from doing that, because God really does want us to publicly be a display of worshiping Him and that fellowship. So you got to force yourself to do things that are not comfortable and be alone with Him. Like, I can be alone with Him and there's a room full of people. Like, I will stop thinking about everybody to give God glory, what's owed to Him, not just give Him my laundry list of things I need and all my worries.
I just want to be
here. Like real worship. I think people get that confused. They think like you're coming to Him. Worship means coming to Him with a need. No, worship means you're coming to Him with, you already gave me. And if you're thankful on that level, anxiety goes fast.
And I'm not
There's
saying
no room
like
for anxiety.
Go to the front and be the center and look at me. Like, no,
Do it
sometimes
right there.
it's right there where you're at. Sometimes it's in the aisle. It's in the back. There's people in the back. A lot of times you'll see me personally, I go to the little corner. Like, I'm in the front, but I'm in the corner because it's not about anybody seeing me do what I'm about to do. It's just me and my time with God and acknowledging, like, please get comfortable worshiping.
I think whatever brings you the peace of God, not just peace, because there's false peace in this world. The peace of the Lord, the peace that surpasses all understanding, you need to do that and do it regularly, because some people it's not worship.
Yeah.
Some people it is just reading. Some people it is studying. They want to know the context of God's word. For me, it's all of those things, but priority is worship. Some people get their peace from just taking a long walk and having just a conversation with God.
Yeah.
They don't have worship on. They don't have any music on. They just need that quiet time, that alone time, and they can have a conversation.
For me,
with
I
him.
would also agree. Worship is I'm a worshiper. Like there was a point like when I couldn't have control. Like it's just me crying my eyes out with the Lord, one on one, and just letting Him know that like spending that one on one time. So I also, but like I'm a crier, so I cry alone with God.
Release.
Yeah, I release. And let surrender, honestly.
Yes.
Like because I'm trying to have so much control, and I'm all like, God, like I can't, so I know you can. So for me it's also worship, but some lists that I have here, it says some tips, like people prayer, honestly, not perfectly, journaling, worship music, therapy, counseling, taking breaks from social media, resting without guilt, talking to trusted people. Trusted people. Setting boundaries. Seeking help does not really mean weak faith. Like it's just if God created these tools, and like
I've done all of the above.
like let's use them. As long as it's not causing you to sin, do them. And that's something that I also hold on to. Like I'm gonna figure this out. Like if it's not causing me to sin, I'm gonna do it. Because like obviously I'm not gonna sin and go against God, or because I am a believer, but I'm gonna try different options. Like yes, I worship, but if that's not enough, journaling. Okay, if that's not enough, finding like talking to y'all. Like I go to y'all, I'm like, what is
some people? You mentioned having plan A through Z, and you were gonna figure it out, but that can also be idolatry. So she knew at some point, okay, you know what? I do have a plan. However, I need to trust God.
Yeah.
So I think that people need to understand we are supposed to have a plan. Like God doesn't want us just to sit idly by and He has to make miracles happen for us. We do have to have plans. He ordains our steps, but at some point, give those plans to God.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to figure everything out.
And believe God was trusted here.
Yeah.
We've been through it at a roller coaster, and a roller coaster that I put myself in, because God already knew, like He made the cricket road straight, but I'm over here like going through it and but
trying to reroute it.
So
but you've learned at some point to ask God for strategy and wisdom.
I'm always like, God, I need your wisdom. I need you to guide me. I always say that, guide me and direct me, because if it was me, I'll be going in my flesh, and I'll be like,
that's why you had plan A through Z.
Yes.
That's what I love about this episode, is we all have different anxieties that look differently. We all have different ways of how we handle it. One thing that I thought was important, Claudia just shared, was she was very open about having control. Her anxiety comes from control, but also when she talked about how she handles it, is in worship she releases that control. So it's a balance of, I know this is where it comes from, but I also know how to let you have control. Like that's where it starts. That's where it trickles. That's where it looks like if you struggle with certain things and you don't like, where do I go from here? Start there. Start releasing control in worship. Start releasing that there, and then you'll see how God continues to use that little seed, that little crack of the door that you give Him, and He'll start to grow in that way for you. Just sharing personally, because we are friends outside of here, I've noticed that Claudia's been like, because we talked about studying and journaling and all this stuff. I don't even know if she knows, but she has been taking more time out to study and read and dissect. And yes, it's because of like groups and leadership and doing all these things, but I've noticed the more that she does that, the more she's learning to release control. Like, she pours out differently because she's spending that time with God, and to her it looks like studying, to her it looks like preparing, but no, that's your time with God. He really is pouring into
that's
you
giving control back to the Lord.
And releasing it to this is my time to study. And I recognize that because that's how one of our daughters are. Lisette is big on studying. She has to study because she wants to know all the answers. So she's going to study. She's going to be in her word. She's going to read. She's going to analyze. She's going to overanalyze.
Yes.
But that's
control freaks have to understand.
So that's how God, that's that time with God where she's really releasing control.
Yes.
And giving it to God. But what that looks like is studying. Yeah. And that's what something she's been doing lately.
Know the word. I gotta know that I know you.
And I know that Claudia, like, there's times where I call her, I text her, and she's like, I can't talk right now, I'm studying. And I'm like, okay. Because that's something that's working, and it's making her go, like, another level.
Yeah. Right before we started recording, she was talking to us, and we were like, okay, Miss Preacher.
Yeah. Because
she gave us a whole sermon and lesson.
Yeah. Because she is spending more and more and more time.
I think as life happens, life happens, and it's going to continue happening, and it's not going to slow down for you, you know, and finding overthinking or having control or having this anxiety, like, you have to find your peace. And I feel like I've tried for years, I've tried to have control for years, and finding, like, me diving into the word and spending my one-on-one time with God, it's where I don't have to control it. You know, and I know I'm okay, and and then you apply it. Yes,
that's the other part.
Applying
it is what releases the control, that actual application. Yeah. Because there are a lot of people I know, they know the word in and out. They know Hebrew definition.
They know it too well.
They don't apply it to their life. I mean, you got knowledge and no wisdom. Come on now.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this anxiety.
Don't enjoy your anxiety.
I hope this does not give you anxiety.
I hope I hope this episode is helping you and helping you reflect, or maybe you didn't know you had, or maybe like start working on it, you know. And something I want to close with is this little note. It says, you can love God deeply and still be healing. You are not failing because you're struggling. It's okay to be living and having this ancient thought. You know, it's just we're always growing and evolving and healing, you know, like, so don't be so hard on yourself, and
don't be a perfectionist.
Don't be controlling.
And don't be an overthinker.
We didn't even talk about the fear of disappointment, like the anxiety of disappointment.
We can go on and on. This is a good topic, and I mean, there's a lot that could have been said, but we only have a certain amount of time frame. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Let us know if you guys want us to go into a part 2, because there's more to it.
Or let us know what you are struggling with, so we can pray for you. And help you. Maybe we can give you scripture that will help you. Because I know that so many times when I've struggled, one scripture, like just one line out of the Bible, I would repeat it over and over and over until something shifted and I got peace. Like just one little sentence. Because, you know, a lot of people, the pressure of knowing scripture, right?
Yes.
Everything's pressure, guys.
Everything.
But if you just take one sentence out of the Bible, that literally can change your whole world.
Just hold on to it. Hold on to that.
I'll be like, in the book of Acts, that one, go read it. Somewhere in there.
That's what I say. I always do that too. Somewhere in Matthew, go find it.
Maybe God's telling you to read all of it. I don't know. I'm not
good at memorizing these things, but go read it.
It's in that story.
I don't even narrow it down to a chapter sometimes. I'm like, read the whole thing.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this episode with a friend that that God puts in your heart, because you never know if God is using you to speak to somebody or using you to, who's struggling with this and needs to be sent. So just Yeah, and continue sending us messages, prayer. Like Vanjie said, if you feel like if you know you're struggling with something, send it, and we'll definitely pray and send you scripture, whatever. You know, we want you guys to feel like you guys are on the couch with us, and you're just here with us, and you know that we're friends. All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget that you're not alone.
You're not consumed.
Another is in the fire.
Bye, guys.
Inside.
There's a new one that
it's like this, no?
Oh yeah,
or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All different ways.